guys, it's Brittany. So today's going to be an incredible movie facts video, and here are the interesting facts on the movie Sleepy Hollow. 1. Tim Burton based the windmill on a scene in Frankenstein. He explained, stated, "It's somewhat symbolic of your mind somehow. I'm not quite sure how or why, but maybe it's just sort of the aimlessly spinning quality that represents my mind." Now, the windmill that you see in the movie, um, I think it's like pretty much towards the end. Now, that that windmill is actually based on from the movie Frankenstein. The the old Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. Now, I don't know. I think now when I read this, I didn't quite know that, and I thought that was quite interesting. And I thought, that could explain why when I did watch the movie, why the windmill somehow seemed quite familiar to me. But of course, I just didn't know where I've seen a windmill like that before. But then when I read it, and it was actually based on the windmill from Frankenstein, I thought, okay, no wonder the windmill looked somewhat familiar to me. So I could explain it. So that is actually quite interesting. Okay, 2. For some of the scenes in Sleepy Hollow, the filmmakers used a mechanical horse to get the desired shot. It's mentioned that the team got a hold of the mechanical horse that was used in the movie National Velvet. They added new fur and skin for the mechanical horse, and later added special effects. Now, that is very interesting too, as well, because so yeah, they used the mechanical horse that was actually used in National Velvet, was of course, now I think of course that was the one that Elizabeth Taylor was in, and I think she was the one had to use the mechanical horse in that movie, at the time. So yeah, that's quite interesting to know. I think she had to ride the mechanical horse when it came to riding the horse, in the race. Yeah, in the race. Yeah, I think it was. I think so. So because they got a hold of that mechanical horse and they used it for the movie, I think to film some shots in the movie, that is quite interesting to know. Like, wow. And of course, later adding special effects, I think for certain scenes in the movies, like, wow, that's quite interesting to know. 3. Several of the cast and crew grew up with the Sleepy Hollow story. Tim Burton explained that the story inspired him his whole life. Johnny Depp also said he grew up with the story. They had no idea they would get involved in this movie with a story they grew up with. Now, that, I know I keep saying interesting, but this is also an interesting fact to know that there is some cast and crew members on the movie that actually grew up with the story of Sleepy Hollow. And so So with Tim Burton, he mentioned that the story inspired him his whole life. And I think maybe that's why, because of that, I think that's why he somehow had this desire to do this movie on the story he grew up with, because it really inspired him. Um, Even Johnny Depp grew up with the story, hearing about it, and I think, reading about it. And here's the thing too. Now, I know maybe some people actually did grow up with hearing the story of Sleepy Hollow, but I did not. Like, even as a young child, like, I did not grow up reading um, the story of the legend of Sleepy Hollow. I did not. I maybe some kids maybe have heard of the story, or maybe somebody read to them the story when they were growing up, like maybe when they were in nursery school, or maybe kindergarten or elementary, or perhaps middle school. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, I did not grow up um, reading the story at a young age. I did not. I never even read the story. Not even. I don't remember really hearing about it, or like I don't remember a teacher reading to me about it to the class. Um, like I don't remember like a teacher, like whether if it's in elementary school or middle school. Like I don't remember a teacher that had the book and reading it to me and to my class. You know, long time ago. I don't remember, and there's just some things I don't remember. At a very young age, and I don't remember that. And so yeah, because of that, I did not really grow up with hearing the story or someone reading to me the story itself. But I mean that's okay. I mean, but the fact that I actually do want to read the story though, just to see how different the book is, from the movie. Because as far as I know, even though I didn't grow up with the story, I actually, I think in a way, grew up with the movie. Because I remember the first time I saw the movie, I was like 13 or 14. So, yeah, when I actually saw it, it did scare me because I was like, what? Of course, there are certain things that quite shocked me and disturbed me. It still does, but now the first time seeing it, it was just so new to me because I never even knew that this was based on the book. So, yeah, I actually do want to read the book myself, like I said, just to see how different it is from the movie. So, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's quite interesting that some of them actually did grow up with the story of Sleepy Hollow, and they actually, it turns out they end up doing this movie on the story that they grew up with. So it's like, that's interesting to know. 4. Ray Park was the stuntman behind the Headless Horseman. Park is known for his Star Wars role of Darth Maul. Did I say that right? Darth Maul. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. He acted out the action sequences as the Headless Horseman. Now, that is quite impressive because now I have seen that one where Ray Park is for his role as Darth Maul. Like I have seen that one. It's one of the prequels, right? I think so. But I do remember that. I remember he had like makeup on, red makeup, like red and black with yellow eyes. Now, because he was actually the stuntman, um, behind the Headless Horseman, and doing the action sequences, doing all the stunts on his own, and to know that's just quite impressive. Like, wow, like doing all that. And I've heard that because he was doing all that, he had to wear like this blue mask. Yeah, he had to wear this blue mask over his head, so that way once it's edited out, like when they digitally do that on a computer, that then it will look like um you know, it's like the Headless Horseman doing it, so doing the killing. So that is yeah, quite impressive on that on his part. You know, him being the stuntman as the Headless Horseman, but of course he had to wear like this blue mask over his head, you know, so that way they could digitally make it look like, I think, in other words, digitally turn his head invisible, so that way we can see that this is the Headless Horseman doing this in the movie. So he did a good job on that. 5. Tim Burton says Johnny Depp is the best painter. Um, I would have to agree with him on that because now in this movie in particular, there are certain scenes where, you know, Johnny Depp, he plays Ichabod Crane, but there are just some scenes where his character gets so scared to the fact that he faints. No, I'm not sure when um when he has to faint, you know, because that's part of his character, and he has to do that because his character is so scared. Now, when he faints, I'm not sure whether if it's him just pretending, you know, just acting. He has to faint when, of course, it's not real. I'm pretty sure it is, or I'm not sure if some of it may be somewhat real, like maybe he actually did faint, but he knows how to wake up when he faints. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that part I think is funny because it's like in the movie, his character Ichabod, he gets so scared of what's going on that, yeah, he gets so scared to the point where he faints. But yeah, it's the way he faints though that is actually funny. Okay, 6. Casper Van Dien broke his finger while they were filming one of the first shots of his battle with a horseman. Okay, that gotta hurt. You know, it's like, I feel bad that he actually broke his finger, you know, while, you know, filming the shots, one of the shots of him fighting the Headless Horseman. So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly which part it was when he broke his finger, but I've heard that even though when he broke his finger, he still did it. He still was doing the scene, you know. So they kept on filming even though he broke his finger, but ow, it's like, yeah, that gotta hurt. So sorry about that. Um, where was I? Okay, 7. And yes, this is my tablet. And no, my phone didn't got any bigger. It's just my tablet. 7. Tim Burton snuck an eerie digital effect shot in a scene where the flames in a fireplace burst up behind Steve Waddington's character. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice several skulls in the flames were digitally created by altering the Headless Horseman's skull on the computer. Yeah, that. Now, I've heard that was actually like a sub. What do you call it? A sub. I can't even say it. I can't even say the word. It's it's somewhat like a message throughout the movie, and I think I've heard what it means is that he's getting near. It's kind of like because of the skulls that burst up into flames in the fireplace, that actually meant that those people in those houses were gonna be his next victims. So that's what I've heard, like the meaning to that, and why we actually see that. And with me, I was like, whoa, scary. But yeah, I mean, here's the funny thing, because this is actually mentioned in the featurette of Sleepy Hollow on DVD. If you have it on DVD, and if you have the like behind the scenes of Sleepy Hollow, you know, the featurette where it talks about that, then you know what I mean, because it mentions that, and somehow I completely forgot about it. But when I read it again, I'm like, oh, that's right, they did that. Like, wow, I completely forgot about that. But that was creepy. Okay, moving on. 8. Tim Burton helped Danny Elfman envision the score through emotion. Elfman stated that he enjoyed working with Burton since the director doesn't talk in musical terms, but instead explains how he wants the music to sound through emotion. Now, considering the fact that Danny Elfman has worked with Tim Burton on probably who knows how many movies that he worked with him. I know he has worked with Tim Burton in with movies like Edward Scissorhands, Batman, Batman Returns, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. Now I know that one Tim Burton didn't actually direct it, but Danny Elfman still composed the music for the movie, and even he was the singing voice of Jack Skellington, which he actually did pretty good with that. But anyway, so with this movie, I think with this movie, I think he wanted, um, I think somehow he wanted Danny Elfman to do something a bit different with the music in this movie, and I think that's what he did. Because, as you can tell, he says that he explains how he wants the music to sound through emotion. And I think that's quite important. You know, it's very important to have music to go with what's going on, and to for even music to sound like it has the emotion to it, you know, with what's going on in the movie. That's very important, because without the music, then how else are we gonna feel the suspense? Or else how are we gonna feel so sad? You know, like, it just kind of depends. So that was, I think, very important to have, you know. So yeah, I even like how the music sounds in the movie, because there's times where it just sounds like eerie. There's times where it sounds like it's getting really intense and it's getting scary. And I think there's times where it just sounds quite nice. You know, like, there's times where it doesn't even sound scary, but it just sounds nice. Like, it has this, I think in a way, I think throughout all the music in the movie, like, whether if it sounds really intense or it doesn't, it just has this Tim Burton feel to it, and, you know, has this Danny Elfman vibe to it, because he has worked with him so many times in movies. So he did a good job with composing the music for that movie, because he did so well, and I like how the music sounds in that movie. Like, it's just really, really good. Oh, great, where was I? I lost my place. Okay. 9. Christopher Walken had a small role as the Hessian horseman. Before his character gets decapitated, to give his character a scary look, Walken had to wear bright blue contact lenses and fake teeth that had sharp ends. The disguise probably wasn't the most comfortable thing for the actor to wear, but it really does make his character look scary. And that I have to agree, because now, as I said before, that when I first watched Sleepy Hollow, I believe I was 13 or 14, around there. I can't really remember, but it was either around there, and I think it was probably 13. I think so. I remember when I was watching it, even my sister, she was watching it too, and so I remember we were actually renting it. We were renting it from Hollywood Video. And because they're no longer in business, for those of you who know, they used to be in business, and we actually rented the movie from there at the time. At the time, it was still open and it was still in business. So, of course, when we were renting it, we were, of course, we didn't know what to expect. And of course, we didn't even know that this was based on a novel. But of course, as you can see in the opening credits, it even says based on a novel by Irving Washington, I believe. And when I saw that, I'm like, this was based on a book? And I'm like, oh damn, like, I didn't even know there was a book about it. But like I said, I'm curious to know. But anyway, so as someone during the beginning, when Johnny Depp goes ahead and he talks to these men, and when they tell him about this story, about the Hessian, and how I think I what was it? I think it was he was a German soldier. He wasn't into war, but then I think whenever there was a war, he would be there and he would kill people. Now, of course, I don't want to mention how he does it because it's so brutal. Like, uh, mm-mm. But anyway, I remember when it showed the flashback scene, and of course, when I saw how Christopher Walken actually plays the Hessian, plays this character. So when I saw that and when I saw him, I didn't even know he was in a movie. So of course, when I saw him playing this character, actually I was scared because I was like, what the heck? And because I noticed that his character didn't speak, his character didn't talk, and I think it was because of the fact that, as it was mentioned, that his character actually filed his teeth, like really sharp. So I think because of that, he somehow couldn't speak. I don't know. If some of you probably know why, tell me why, please, because I don't know why on that. Um, so yeah, when I saw that, he looked scary, and believe me, he did scare me. Um, playing that character, and but no, I wasn't scared where I'm like, oh, I can't look. I was just scared, kind of like almost like, okay, I was just scared in a way where I'm like, uh, okay, what's gonna happen next? Like, it's kind of like, it's almost like I can't look away because I'm like, okay, I don't understand this. So what's going on? So, and because there are a few scenes where you see him, like there's the flashback scene, in the beginning, and there's the other flashback towards the ending. Then of course, the last time you see him is the end, is where he gets his head back. And as strange as that may sound, yes. But Um, I'll just say this though, considering he had to wear bright blue contact lenses and had to wear fake teeth with sharp ends, now he looked scary, to play the Hessian in the movie. But I think even with the makeup on him, for that role in the movie, I think he just did a good job. I mean, considering that he has no dialogue in the movie, to me it's like he still did a good job by even not saying anything and just by doing what he was doing pretty much in the movie. And yeah, like I said, even though you don't quite see him a lot, but only like in a few scenes, like there's in the beginning, in a flashback, and the other flashback towards the ending, and then you get the ending where he gets his head back. So, but yeah, other than that, I have to say the makeup artist did such a good job. Um, with the makeup and all, because he looks so scary and he looks so convincing. Like, okay, he is really this bad guy, you know, in the movie where it's like, okay, something's gonna happen. Like, it's kind of like it looks like he's up to something, but of course you don't know what he's up to because he has no dialogue in the movie. So it's like, okay, what's going on? But yeah, other than that, I think he did a good job. Like, considering he had a small role in the movie, he still did a good job though, because it was very convincing. Like, real scary, like scary, but very convincing though, and good. Yeah, like I said, he did a good job though, and the makeup artist did a good job as well. And this video is going a bit long, and I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, his character though did have that scary um look, you know, to the movie though, which I think, like I said, they did a good job with that. Okay, 10. According to the featurette behind Sleepy Hollow, the digital effects department put a lot of detail into the scene where the horseman emerges from his resting place. Individually, each element looks silly, but when they are combined and digitally meshed together, it creates an incredible scene. I have to agree on that as well, because I remember watching that too. Like, when I was watching behind the scenes of Sleepy Hollow, I remember just seeing how they were digitally, um, how they were actually, um, how do I say, how they were like individually, like, to 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 put it all together digitally. Like, yes, it may look kind of silly in a way, like if it's like somewhat floating or the elements are dancing in a way, but when it all comes together, it looks great. And yeah, I've seen that part. Of course, I've seen that part where of of that scene, and yeah, that took a lot of work. That took a lot of digital work, and they did such a good job with that. Now, that is all for the facts on Sleepy Hollow, and of course, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, I am gonna do a movie review on Sleepy Hollow soon. I don't know when, but it will be soon. Um, I do like the movie, it is good, but there are some things that still shock shock me and disturb me, especially when it comes to the parts of those people where they get decapitated. uh I don't know, that just gives me chills, and that just really shocks me. It disturbs me, but other than that, I watch it to be entertained. Well, not by that. No, no, no. But there are some parts in there are somewhat entertaining. But of course, I do watch it to get scared and to get shocked and to be disturbed. But but yeah, just because I see those decapitating scenes in a movie doesn't mean I like it. Those scenes, because it's like, oh no, so horrible, like, but at the same time, it is a good scary movie to watch if you want to be scared. So anyway, I hope you learned something new from the movie. And so far I like the facts on the movie because I find it quite interesting. So be sure to look for more videos like this because I will be doing more videos soon. And yes, I will be doing a movie review on Sleepy Hollow soon. And yeah, so be sure to look out for that because I will review it. So that's all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.